Say everybody, I know no one's there, but hello everybody. About to start scenario 4 of my blind playthrough of The Circle Undone. This is the Wages of Sin scenario. If you've been watching, Preston didn't do too well. He died on the second, at the end of scenario 2. So Jenny stepped into the breach to take over, and she didn't do well. She started off all right, but she didn't do brilliantly. I think the clue here is the fact that I'm playing her. But yes, here I am, about to start scenario 4. Okay, scenario 4, the Wages of Sin. I'll tell you what, rather than look off camera, let's do it like this. Try and be professional. Ever since your encounter with the ghost in the witch house, you have been forced to reconsider everything you know about life and death. Kezia Mason died over 200 years ago, but her spirit remains in the spectral mist. The same mist you encountered in Joseph Miger's manor. One question lingers in your mind as you consider the events that have transpired. Does Kezia's spirit linger because of the mist, or is the mist caused by her presence? Which is the disease and which the symptom? The more you delve into Arkham's history of witchcraft and persecution, the more restless you become. Night after night you are assaulted by terrible dreams, dreams of death and decay, of guilt and sin. There is an evil that dwells in this city, an evil that has long remained hidden in the darkness of Arkham's past. What's worse, your inquiry has reached an impasse. You believe that if you can find the coven of witches you saw in the woods that fateful night, you might be able to learn more about Kezia Mason or this unspoken hero. As you go through your morning routine, your eyes drift across one of the smaller headlines of today's newspaper. Ghost sightings on Hangman's Hill. Residents of Uptown claim to have seen human shapes in the thick fog emanating from Hangman's Brook. Couldn't be a coincidence, could it? Then the realization dawns on you. If it is the witches you seek, the only place you can be certain to find them is 6 feet underground, in the place where professed witches were executed all those years ago. Searching for spectres in a graveyard may not be your safest bet, but you're not sure one can stay safe in this city anymore. Okay, so I've done all of the various items of setup. We have put our randomized choices of 2 locations in. Unlike other scenarios, locations don't have an unrevealed side, so they basically have a normal side and a spectral side, so I'm guessing things will be flipping and going quite pear-shaped at some point. I have my normal encounter deck here, and then this scenario introduces a separate spectral encounter deck, so I put that red glass marker on there just to remind me that that's not the normal encounter deck. So during the setup of this scenario, 2 encounter decks are constructed, a standard encounter deck and a spectral encounter deck. Generally speaking, whenever an investigator would interact with an encounter deck, that investigator should use the standard encounter deck. However, at certain points during the scenario, locations may flip over to their spectral side. While an investigator is at a location with the spectral trait, that investigator should use the spectral encounter deck instead of the standard encounter deck for all purposes unless otherwise noted. This includes drawing cards from the encounter deck as well as searching, looking at revealing or otherwise interacting with the encounter deck or encounter discard pile in any way. This also includes abilities that trigger when the encounter deck runs out of cards. If an effect specifically refers to the standard encounter deck or spectral encounter deck, it interacts with the specified deck. Each of the 2 decks have their own discard pile. Okay. Note, flipping a location over from one side to another during this scenario does not reveal the new location. Okay, so I guess they only reveal when you move into them. Okay, let's see what we can find then. We start at Hangman's Brook. Agenda 1A. It's a tarot card, the Hanged Man, 12. Surrender yourself to the path of sacrifice. Consider the good of all before you act. Let go. So that's 8 doom on there. Act 1A. In pursuit of the dead, you have come to Hangman's Hill to investigate reports of ghost sightings and strange activity in the woods the last few nights, and to learn more about the witches who once hid in Arkham's past, witches who have since emerged from the shadows in pursuit of some unholy purpose. Locations cannot be flipped over. Okay, so I need to find 3 clues. I am here at Hangman's Brook. There is 1 clue to be found. On the previous scenario, poor old Jenny succumbed to horror, so she starts with a mental trauma. And we start with the usual 5 resources. Now then, I'm just thinking, have I got a second permanent card? I can't remember whether I have or not. I don't think I have actually. I used my 3 XP from the last scenario to buy Streetwise, so hopefully I can spend a few quid to boost my stats. At least my investigating and my evade stats anyway. Do a final mash. And let's see what I get in my opening hand. Flashlight, Derringer, flashlight, cheap shot, hard knocks. Well, I've already got Streetwise, which boosts my book and evade. But I could also have hard knocks to boost my fight if I need it. I definitely want the gun. I definitely want a torch. Although, do I need the torch if I'm going to spend 2? I can use Streetwise. I would prefer to have Lone Wolf to get me boosting my monies. So I'll quit the second flashlight. Cheap shot. Add your evade to your skill value for this attack. I'll take that later, and I'm unsure about hard knocks. I think I'm going to risk not taking hard knocks. That's 3 more then. Quantum Flux, shuffle your discard pile. That's I'm going to use later. And another Derringer. Okay, well that'll serve me right, won't it? Right, so I'm at Hangman's Brook. It has a shroud of 4 and only 1 clue, and we have the option of resigning. It is only connected to these 2 locations, so I think I get that first clue. Okay, I shall spend 2 resources on Streetwise to boost my investigation by 3, so I'm going in with 6 against 4. And we have a 0. That'll do. We have our first clues. Second action, do I want to move? No, second action I'm going to spend the other 3 resources to get a gun in hand. Don't want to get caught out. And I'm just going to draw Dark Horse. Okay, that's my 3 actions. No enemies in play, nothing to ready, card, Lone Wolf, hello, and Jenny's 2 resources. Doom on the agenda. I haven't even opened my little Doom pot, my little pot of Doom. So that's 1 out of 8, and we draw an encounter card, making sure I draw the right one. Coven Initiate. Revelation. Discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. That's a Vengeful Witch and Diabolic Voices. If this effect causes it to run out of cards, draw the topmost hex card. Well, it didn't. So this is, I've drawn a Coven Initiate, so it spawns at my location, so she is engaged with me. How romantic. Okay, action 1. I've not put my ammo on my gun, right. I think I just shoot the witch. It doesn't seem very thematic, but I will shoot the witch. I will use 1 of my ammos. That's a fight with a +2, so I'm going in with a 5 against her 2. 5 against her 2, -1. Will do. So she is dead because this does. Hang on, that was -1. 5 against 2, so I've succeeded by more than 2. So yes, it does an extra damage. 2 damage. She's dead. Second action, I will move. So, shall I go towards the fields or shall I go towards the chapel? Don't give us any clues in the act. No, we're just heading this way. Unfortunately, with the locations already being on display and not revealed, I can see what's going to happen as soon as I get there. So there, I lose 1 on all of my skills. There, a spectral enemy gets a +1 horror. But there, I've got a better chance of investigating, and I need 3 clues. So I'm going to go to the chapel. Action 2, move to the chapel. So action 3, let's get an investigation done. I'm going to investigating with a... No, I won't actually. I'm just going to pay 1 and put Lone Wolf into play. That's my third action. No enemies in play. Nothing to ready. Card. Lucky cigarette case. I wonder if I'll get to play it this time. And Jenny's 2 resources. Let's just flip that 1 to 3. Doom on the agenda. 2 out of 8. And an encounter. We have Diabolic Voices. Test head of 3. For each point you fail by, discard a random card from your hand. This is how I lost the cigarette case last time. It's +1 difficulty for each copy in the discard pile, and I think there is already 1 in there. There is. So that's a test head of 4. I've got nothing to boost it other than committing cards. I could throw in an unexpected courage. Yeah, I'm going to throw in an unexpected courage. That will boost me by 2, so I'm going a 5 on a 4. 5 on a 4. Skull. Skull is -X. X is 1 higher than the number of copies of unfinished business in the victory display, where there are none. So that's 1. So that becomes a -1. So I'm doing a 4, 5 on a 4. I passed. Okay. Action 1. Get a resource from Lone Wolf. Thank you, Lone Wolf. There's never going to be any investigators at my location because I am slow. Excuse me while I squeak from a large cup of coffee. Excuse me, I think I ordered the large cappuccino. Okay, investigate. This is a 2, I'm on a 3. There are 2 clues here. I don't think I have any tech for drawing extra, gaining extra clues. I'm going to save my flashlight for places like that. Mind you, that's a 0 clues anyway. For now. Right, I'm going to settle here then and do some investigating. So I'm going to be investigating with a 3 on a 2. I'm going to pay 2 resources to use Streetwise to boost my book by 3. So I'm going with a 6 on a 2. Six on a 2 plus 1. So I get a clue fizzles. And then my second action, I think I just do it again. 2 clues, sorry, 2 resources on Streetwise to make it a 6 versus a 2. Skull -1. There we go, I have my 3 clues. So let's advance the act. Soft chanting guides you to a gloomy clearing near the abandoned chapel. A circle of witchweed surrounds the clearing, swaying gently in the breeze. At the centre of the clearing, a cloaked woman kneels in front of an unmarked grave, far from the remainder of the graveyard. You watch in quiet for a few minutes while the woman sings an old, sombre melody. It reminds you somewhat of a child's lullaby, soothing but with a dark gravity that betrays its purpose. As soon as the song ends, the woman's cloak dissolves into mist and she vanishes in a swirl of shadows. Spawn 1 set-aside heretic enemy. At each of the following locations: the gallows, heretics' graves, chapel attic, and chapel crypt. Oh, why am I not surprised it is all 4 of them. Add 2 clues per investigator to each of those locations. Adding some more clues. Clues per investigator to each of those locations, and 1 clue per investigator to each other location. Okay. Check the campaign log. If you have 3 or more mementos listed, have I? Mementos discovered: mesmerizing flute, ritual components, Gilman's journal. Okay, I have 3 mementos. I understand the tragic lyrics behind the witch's song. Each investigator puts into play 1 set-aside spectral web asset under her control, his or her control. Spectral web asset. Investigators at your location can spend 1 to 3 clues as a group to fight. Use this ability only to attack a Geist enemy. You may choose to use your head instead of your fight for this attack. You get plus X skill value and deal plus X, where X is the amount of clues spent to trigger this ability. That's interesting. So let me just have a look at these heretics, see what's going on with them. Heretics get +2 per investigator health, so they've all got 4 health. While heretic is at a non-spectral location, which they all are at the moment, they are aloof and they cannot be engaged or damaged. As a free action, I can spend 1 clue to parley and look at the heretic's other side without resolving its text. Forced, after it is defeated, flip it over and resolve the text on the other side. Wow. What do I do? Apart from pour coffee down my face. And what I do is hunter enemies move. Are any of these hunters? They're not. I don't think I've ever seen quite so many keywords on an enemy. Monster, Geist, Witch, Spectral and Elite. Yeah, wowza. And I haven't even finished advancing the agenda. The act, sorry. So okay, so I have my Spectral web asset. Okay, Act 2A, In Pursuit of the Living. With the mist comes the revenants of the past, witches who were executed hundreds of years ago and whose hateful spirits have returned to wreak vengeance upon the living. If you can banish them, you might learn more of the Coven's secrets. As a free action, flip your location over, group limit once per round at each location. Clues cannot be discovered on non-spectral locations. Okay, so we just dumped all of these clues out, but we can't discover them until they are spectral. We can't hurt the heretics until the location is spectral. Objective, banish as many heretics as you can. If there are 4 copies of unfinished business in the victory display, advance. Assuming unfinished business comes from defeating a heretic. So no enemies here, nothing to ready. Card. Narrow escape. Play when an enemy makes an attack of opportunity against you. Cancel that attack and get +2 to the next skill. 2 resources. 1. 2. Doom's the agenda, 3 out of 8. And an encounter card, and I am at a non-spectral location, so it's a non-spectral encounter card. It's a witch. Priestess of the Coven. She's humanoid and witch. She gets +1 fight and +1 evade for each witch enemy in the encounter discard pile. Don't think there are any. Yet 1. 2. Okay, so she gets +2 fight, +2 evade, so she's on 5 and 5 with 3 health. That is nasty. Okay. I'll do my encounter. I get an extra resource from Lone Wolf. I think I have no choice but to shoot the cow. This is where I want that thing where I added it. Okay, let's shoot the witch. So I'm going to fight with 5 She is 5. And I will spend 2 resources to boost that using Streetwise to 8. So it's 8 versus 5. Plus 1. Wow. So that's 2 damage. I can't afford to do that again. I can only do a normal fight, which would be, sorry, that's 1 ammo used there. Down to 1 bullet left on my gun. If I do a normal fight, that's going to be a 5 against a 5. Feels like a waste. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a card which will trigger an attack of opportunity. Then I'm going to play Narrow Escape as a fast action. When an enemy makes an attack of opportunity, cancel that attack and get +2 to the next skill. And my next skill is I'm going to fight her with the final bullet. So I'll be going 5, 6, 7 against 5. 7 against 5. Skull. -1. I've passed by 1, which is enough to do the 1 damage to kill the priestess. There's nothing here boosting her health, is there? No. Priestess is toast. That was my 3rd action, wasn't it? I attacked, I drew a card and cancelled the attack of opportunity, and then I attacked again. Hunter enemies move, we have none. There's no one to attack. Ready card, nothing to ready. Get a card. Opportunist. I'm getting 2 resources from Jenny's signature. Now Doom, that takes us to 4 out of 8. Draw an encounter card, so there's a non-spectral location. Diabolic Voices. Test head of 3, and for each point I fail by, discard a random card from my hand. Head of 3, I used that final one, didn't I? Yeah. Head of 3. Seems a waste to commit my Dark Horse. But I'm gonna commit my Dark Horse. That's an extra 1. Okay. There's only a 4 against a... No, it's 4 against a 3, isn't it? No, +1 for each copy in the discard pile. 1. There's already 2 in there, so it's a 5. 4 against a 5. I'm going to throw in the cigarette case. 5 against a 5. I'll throw in the opportunist. 6 against a 5. The thing is, I'm going to lose some of these cards anyway if I don't win. 6 against a 5. 6 against a 5. -3, that's a fail by 1. No, 6 against a 5, -3, so that's a 3 against 5, fail by 2. So we're still losing 2 cards. Takes up 2. Quantum Flux on my other gun. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. That's doubly bad because I was going to use Quantum Flux to refill my deck later. Poopy plops. Action 1, get a resource from Lone Wolf first. Then so to fight the heretics I use my head. I can use my head if I choose to. And then I spend clues to boost the attack. I don't have these clues, I spent 3 clues to advance. But no. So I need to get clue in. But I can only get clue in on a spectral location, so I'm going to use the free ability to flip. During the Mythos phase, each investigator in the abandoned chapel gets -1 and is now haunted and okay. So a haunt triggers from a failed investigation. I will spend 2 resources on Streetwise to investigate the chapel. So that will be, so that was a free action. So I'm not on my first action yet. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 on a 2. 6 on a 2, -1. That is a success. So I get that. Second action. Move. Use the free ability to flip your location over group limit once per round at each location. So it's not once per round in total, it's once per round for the location. So I'm going to flip this and I'll be using the spectral deck. That's now only a 1. So I will investigate with a 3 on a 1. 3 on a 1. +1 again. How many times have I seen that today? So I now have 2 clues ready for fighting a heretic. That should be there. And that's my turn done. Hunter enemies move. They're definitely not hunter, are they? No. They're aloof anyway, so they wouldn't attack. Nothing to ready. Card. No escape. 2 resources. Put that one back to a 3. Doom on the agenda. 5 out of 8. And an encounter card, but I'm at a spectral location. So I take a spectral encounter. Malevolent Spirit. Spawn at the chapel attic or the chapel crypt. Makes no difference really, does it? Right, so that gains Hunter while it is at a spectral location, but it isn't at the moment, so it's going to stay there. Right, action 1, gain a resource from a Lone Wolf. Thank you, Mr. Lone Wolf. So, I should have taken a free action to flip that before I left it. I'm going to take the free action to flip this one back. Action 1, move. free action to flip the haunted fields. Second action, investigate with a, I'm going to do 2 onto Streetwise again. So investigating with a 6 against a 3. -4, that's a fail. Haunted, move the nearest spectral enemy 1 towards haunted fields. So the nearest one is going to be either these two, so she moves here. So because she is at a spectral location, she has lost aloof, so she is now engaged with me with 4 health and I have no gun. She's 4 damage. I can spend a clue to look at her backside. Or I can just fight her. Curious as to why I would want to look. That's the joy of a blind playthrough, isn't it? I've only got 2 clues anyway, because I failed to get that one. She get +2 health from this, so 4 health, 4 fight, 3 evade. I do a attack of 2. Let's see what happens anyway. I'm going to attack with the spectral web. I will spend my 2 clues to attack with the spectral web. So I'm attacking with a +2, so that's putting me on a 5. Oh, I was thinking I could boost it with Streetwise. I can't, can I? Oh dear. 5. Can I get a... No, I can't get a rewind. She's engaged with me. I'm not doing the attack yet. Let's rewind it very slightly. So action 2. I'm going to spend 2 to put out Hard Knocks. She will do an attack of opportunity against me. I will play Narrow Escape to cancel that attack of opportunity and get +2 to my next skill. So my third action is now I will fight with the Spectral Web. I'm getting +2 from Narrow Escape. I'm getting +2 from the Spectral Web clue, so that's 3, 5, 7. 7. And I'll throw a resource onto Hard Knocks to make it 8. 8 on a 4. Skull. -1. So I've done 1, 2. I've done 3 damage. But she is at 4 health, so she's still alive. And she's angry. And I have no clues to hit her back. Hunter enemies move. She is only hunter while she's at a spectral location. No one else is hunting. She attacks me, 1 of each. Upkeep, ready cards. Card and resources. Unexpected courage in the bagging area. 2 resources. Doomed to the agenda, 6 out of 8. And an encounter card, and I am at a spectral location. Oh my word, another one. Malevolent Spirit, spawn at the chapel attic or the chapel crypt. So part of me thinks I dump this one here as well, and then I just avoid that room as much as possible. I think I'm going to do that because I'm a chicken. So encounter card drawn. Action 1. I get a resource from Wolf. Putting me back up to 3. So action 1. Let's just try punching my way out of this. I've got a 3. They're all spent. And I can spend 3 to boost my punching, so I can go to 6. Let's go to 6 using Hard Knocks and actual Unexpected Courage as well. So 6, that's 8 on a 4. 8 on a 4. -1. Heretic is heretical. Unfinished business. Come join us. The spectre's voice is soothing and melodic. Its words seem to make sense. You can at last be at peace. All you have to do is take its hand. Flip this card back to its enemy side. It makes an immediate attack. For the remainder of the scenario, the enemy cannot be defeated by any means, and its parley cannot be activated while it is a spectral location, and it costs +1 investigator clues to trigger. The next time this side is resolved, the ghost is banished. Forced. If you looked at this side by resolving the parley ability, resolve the above text as if you have just defeated it. Oh, so I could have saved a clue by just parleying. And all those actions, I bet they're all not all like that though, are they? That's the random element. I bet some of them, it's bad if you peek. Right, so this guy is back. To get this straight, it cannot be defeated by any means. So I can't defeat it. I can only parley, but parleying will now cost 2 clues. So back on its enemy side, makes an immediate attack, so that's another 1 of each. I have no clues. I have no clues. I have no money. I'll try and evade, I think. I'm going to evade and then try and grab that clue. Can I use another clue? So evade with a 3 on a 3. Evade with a 3 on a 3 +1. Oh. So action 2 is evade. So that is evaded. Action 3, investigate. I've got no cheap tricks for investigating. I've got no resource to play my flashlight. I think perhaps I just move. Just to give me a bit of breathing space at an empty location. Okay, hunter enemies move, there are none. Enemies attack, no one needs to attack. Ready cards. Card and resources. Perception. 2 resources, thanks to Jane's ability. Doing on the agenda 7 of 8 and a non-spectral encounter card. It's another witch. And she's vengeful. She spawns at the gallows or heretics' graves. Well, I'm not spawning her with me, she can go to the gallows, so to speak. Right. Get a resource from Lone Wolf. I'll do the free action to flip this to its spectral side. Ooh. Haunted is healer damage from each heritage and witch enemy in play. Action 1. Play 2 for flashlight, which comes in with 3 supplies. Action 2, investigate with flashlight. That brings that down to a 2. I'll spend, oh I can't open it, spend a 2 on it. Let's have a perception. So I'm going in with 3, 4, 5 against a 2. So I'm 3 up. That's a pass of 2. Success on the plates. And because I was a successful perception, I draw a card. Watch this. Commit to a skill test, you'll perform with additional cost, spend up to 3 resources if you succeed by 1 or more, gain twice that many. Right, my second action, I'm just going to investigate with a normal flashlight, so that's going with a 3 on a 2, which is quite risky. 3 on a 2, and we have a -2, that's a fail. Another go. 3 on a 2. It's a waste, I know. 3 on a 2. -4 gets worse. That's my third action. Enemy hunters move. We have none. None to attack. Nothing to ready. Gain a card. Elusive, which could be handy. And 2 resources. Doom on the agenda, so this now advances. Takes us to 8 out of 8. We thought it was tricky before. What's the betting? Everything flips. The sobs of the dead echo throughout the woods, accompanied by murmured promises and whispered threats. But when the spectral mists blot out the sky, all turns quiet and still. Your hair stands on end and you begin to tremble. Every fibre of your being screams flight. The hunter has smelled the blood of its prey, and now it has come to claim your fate. Flip each location to its spectral side. Put the spectral watcher enemy into play at Hangman's Brook. Shuffle the remainder of the set-aside watcher encounter set into the spectral encounter deck along with the spectral discard pile. So, that goes spectral. That goes spectral. No, that already is spectral. That goes spectral, which means these guys are now hunters. So much for me leaving them all together. That goes spectral. They're already spectral. This one goes spectral. I can't see due to the reflections of the Witcher Hunter. No. Okay, so Watcher. Spectral Watcher is there. These two get shuffled into the Spectral Encounter deck. Cool, the camera. There wasn't a spectral discard pile because they've all just been spawning. So, Agenda 2A, Death's Approach. Hangman's Hill is plunged into darkness as the spectral mist invades every inch of the woods and the chapel. Somewhere in the midst, the Watcher spies its prey with eyes as empty as the graves. Locations cannot be flipped over. So I can no longer do that free action. So I need another clue to at least banish my first heretic. I think that's my mission here. Once I've drawn an encounter card, that is, and now I'm at a spectral location. It's going to be another spectral enemy, isn't it? Okay. Terror in the Night. Revelation test head of 4. If you fail, put Terror in the Night into play next to the agenda deck. Right, I've got nothing I can use to boost head other than lobbing a single watch this in. Which is kind of, I don't really want to do that on a 4 versus 4 check. Three against 4 plus 1. 4 against 4. That's a pass. I don't believe that. Wow. Something good does happen. Okay. Investigate. Get an extra resource thanks to Lone Wolf. Sorry if I'm driving everyone mad by narrating my every move. So, I need that clue. My flashlight is useless, but I can boost it with Streetwise. So I can go to a 6. Could even go to a 9. What does this say again? Right, so yes, I need to parley it to banish it. I need clues, two clues to parley. I have one, I need another. So F3 investigate. I can boost that to 9. I'm going to spend all of my monies and boost it to 9 using Streetwise. 9 on a 4. -1. Right, I have my two clues. Second action. The thing is, if I move there, this watch is going to come and get me. Action 2. I think I have to go. Action 2, go. Move. Action 3, parley for 2 resources. Read the back. He's now banished. Goes in the victory display. Slightly off camera, but it's there. So that was my third action. Hunter enemies move, so he moves here and engages me. These 2 move here. I think everyone else stays put. Enemies attack, so that's 1 of each. That goes to a 3. That goes to a 3. We'll keep ready card, nothing to ready. Get a card. The location furthest from me. So 1, 2, either of those 2, 3. And at least I get me 2 resources. That Spectral Watcher is quite debilitating for Jenny. Deal on the agenda. 1. Draw an encounter and I'm at a spectral location. So we have Bane of the Living. I either choose an unfinished business card in play and turn it back into a heretic with half its health, or I discard cards until I find a Geist and spawn it engaged with me. I'm not giving up my 1 solitary unfinished business. So I have a Wraith and the Spectral Watcher engaged with me. I think I'm going home now. Right, gain a resource from Lone Wolf. Fight the Watcher, fight the Wraith. They're both hunters, they're both going to chase me. Neither of them go away either. If I defeat the Wraith, it goes back to my location and comes back next time it's haunted. If I defeat the Watcher, he just gets exhausted for 2 turns. I think I have to evade and run. I'm going to spend 1 resource to evade. Oh, hang on. I'm going to pay 2. Kind of. It's not really gaining me anything, is it now? I was thinking I could use Elusive to run away from these 2 and go up there and start working on the second heretic, but I need clues to be able to do that. I ain't got none. It is a single clue to parlay, isn't it? Yeah. I think I have to evade, investigate, don't I? So let's spend 2 resources on Streetwise. Put me on a 6 evade. Let's go for the Watcher. 6 and a 3. That's a fail. And then I shall put 1 on Hard Knocks to do a 4 on a 2 for the raid. Elder Sign. So it's a pass, but it's a soft pass. Wraith is evaded, but I still have the Watcher, who's going to give me a good punching. So that's 2 actions taken. Do I just try and evade with a flat 3 and a 3? Just to avoid a hit? Flat 3 and a 3. 0. Okay, so at least they're evaded. They're not going to hit me this turn, and I have to do it all again next round. Hunter enemies move. So these guys pop down here. This is going to get very nasty very quickly. Nobody attacks. These guys ready, re-engage. Card. Oh, I shouldn't have been gaining those resources, should I? Because the Spectral Watcher's in play. Oh well. I failed a test anyway, so I think it's fair. I'm out in the wash. So I get 1 resource as normal. Mythos and Doomsday Gender, 2 out of 7. Draw an encounter, and I'm at a spectral location, so we take a spectral 1. Watcher's Grasp. Heal 3 damage from the Watcher. No. Ready him, he's already ready. It moves, engages, and attacks as if it were the enemy phase. So he hits me for another 1 of each. Action 1, I don't gain any monies from Lone Wolf thanks to this guy. So I think I need to get evading again, but now I don't have the money to do it properly. Elusive just disengages, doesn't it? It doesn't. This has all gone really badly. Okay, let's get evading. 3 on a 3. Skull -2. That's a fail by 3 and a 3 again. 3 and a 3. -3. And last one, 3 and a 3. So all of those would have failed even if I was doing a 3 on a 2, wouldn't I? So now I get a double hit. Hunter enemies move. So these guys come here, so now I've got a queue of people waiting to hit me. I think this is it, isn't it? Well, I'm not going to survive this. 1, 2. While it's a spectral location, it gets +1 damage and +1 horror. So he does 1 and 2. He does 1 and 2, so that's 2 and 4. He does 1 and 1, that's 3 and 5. And he does 2, that's 3 and 7. I am very dead. Yeah, I'm dead. I was already at 5 out of 7. So that's another horror damage for the next scenario. Oh wow, that went really badly, really quickly. So, resolution 2. Resign to your fate, you'll fall to your knees, the mist parts. Time slows to a crawl as the watcher emerges. Its spectral form glides along the ground, approaching you with the slow surety of a ticking clock. You close your eyes, unwilling to look upon your killer. Your fingers dig into your palm and you brace yourself. The moment passes. When you open your eyes again, the creature is gone, along with the spectral mist. Have you been spared? So, in the campaign log, record, investigators survived the Watcher's embrace. The investigators survived the Watcher's embrace. Log, ex-heretics were unleashed into Arkham. So the number of heretics in play. 3 heretics unleashed onto Arkham. In your campaign log, if X is 3 or less, which it is because I've defeated one of them, under mementos record a wisp of spectral mist. Not a wish, a wisp. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X of each card in the victory display. So what have we got? We have an enormous 1, 2. Is that it? 2. Pathetic 2. Okay, we've got scenario results. Wages of Sin, Resolution 2, 2 VP, save and upgrade decks. Gain another mental trauma. Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed or endured that stream. Next scenario is 5 for the greater good. Let's see if I can make a pig's ear of that one. See you next time.